My name is Olivia Bennett, and 6 years ago my mother sent me a message that burned itself into my memory. Until you stop chasing those kitchen dreams, don't come back to this family. Tonight, I'm sitting in the corner of Marcelino's, the most exclusive Italian restaurant in Midtown Manhattan, the same place where my family has dined every Friday night for 2 decades. The chandeliers shimmer against the mahogany panels, and through the old Venetian mirror beside me, I can see their car pulling up right on schedule. I swirl the wine in my glass, watching the deep red catch the light. It's from my own vineyard in Tuscany, though they don't know that yet. They don't know a lot of things about me. For instance, they don't know that I own this restaurant now, or that the sign above the door still says Marcelino's only because I asked the previous owner to keep it that way, to preserve tradition as my father used to preach. Through the reflection, I see them entering my father in his usual navy suit, my mother in pearls, my sister holding her husband's arm like a trophy. They take their usual table, the one that used to be mine, too. I glance at my watch. 7 sharp. 6 years ago, they banned me from their dinner table for not being respectable enough. Tonight, they're eating at mine. Revenge doesn't always come in flames and fury. Sometimes it arrives plated in porcelain, drizzled in silence, and served beneath crystal chandeliers. The last night I spent in that house still lingers like burnt garlic, sharp, bitter, impossible to forget. I'd come home early from culinary school covered in flour and Hope carrying a basket of handmade pasta I'd spent all day perfecting. I wanted them to taste it to see that it mattered, but the moment I walked in, my mother's eyes turned cold. "We're having guests, Olivia," she said. "You can't wear that apron." Claire twirled her wine glass. "Maybe we'll be on TV as her tragic backstory." My father didn't look up. "You're 26. It's time to think like an adult. There's still a spot open at the firm. This hobby doesn't feed anyone." I set the bowl down, my hands trembling. "It feeds me," I said, quietly. It didn't matter. My mother took the bowl and dumped it into the trash. "We're not a family of waitresses," she said. "Enough." Something cracked inside me quietly like porcelain. I packed a small suitcase and left before dessert. For years I vanished. Waited tables in Brooklyn, studied French cuisine at night, lived on espresso and ambition. People laughed when I said I'd open my own restaurant. I laughed too because believing otherwise wasn't an option. Then came Paris. A scholarship to Le Cordon Bleu. I cleaned pans for chefs who swore in 3 languages and burned through failure until my hands forgot fear. Letters from home went unopened. Holidays passed like empty plates. I thought time would dull the pain, it didn't. Some wounds don't heal. You just outgrow them. When I finally earned my first Michelin star, reporters asked what inspired me. I said hunger. They thought it was poetic. I meant every kind. Then Marcus, my business partner, my only friend, sent a message. "Marcelino's is up for sale. You'll want to see this." The address glimmered like destiny in gold letters. The same restaurant where they'd once humiliated me for dreaming, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. Paris stripped me first of comfort, certainty, and the illusion that talent was enough. The kitchens were merciless, but in that chaos I found control. Every plate, every grain of salt mine. Failure taught me flavor. While others drank, I perfected sauces until they felt like forgiveness. By graduation, my hands were scarred, my drawer full of medals, proof pain could be productive. Then Marcus Hale returned. We'd met years ago in New York. "The world doesn't need another celebrity chef," he said. "It needs someone who treats food like truth." When he asked me to open a restaurant in Lyon, I said yes. 10 guests a night became waiting lists months long. Then came the Hale Group, 1 restaurant, then 20. No ads, just food. Marcus built the vision. I built the experience. Michelin stars followed quietly, yet home stayed silent. My parents never called. I wondered if they'd recognize the girl who once cried over pasta. One morning Marcus showed me a listing, Marcelino's, the restaurant where my family still dined weekly. The owner was retiring. "Fate's calling," he said. "You going to answer?" I stared at the address, the place where they'd humiliated me for dreaming. I booked a flight. 3 days later, I signed the contract. Marcelino's was mine. The night it reopened under my name, the city glowed like champagne. I stood in the dining room, same chandeliers, same velvet booths. Almost. Everything familiar now belonged to me. Wines from my vineyard's menus with my recipes chefs I trained. Even the mirror above their table carried my initials OB. "They'll be here soon," Marcus said. "Readiness," I replied, "is a luxury I gave up years ago." At 7 they arrived, my father's suit tighter, my mother's pearls heavier. Claire's smile rehearsed. They greeted the maitre d' like royalty. "Tell them the table's occupied," I said. Moments later, my mother's voice cut through the room. "Occupied. We have a standing reservation." I rose. "Evening. That's true. The table's taken." She froze. "Olivia." "I thought it was time we had dinner," I said. "It's been 6 years. You shouldn't be here," my father muttered. "Actually, I said I own here." Silence. Then I gestured. "Please sit. It'd be a shame to break tradition." The first dish arrived under silver exile. "The pasta I made the night you told me to leave home," I said. They ate slowly, every bite tasting of memory. Second course. Silence. What I lived on for 6 years. "You can't make a career out of bitterness," my father said. "I didn't," I replied. "I made an empire. Mockery, hunger, rebirth. Each dish a chapter." When my mother whispered, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Because you taught me presentation matters." The final course. Forgiveness. Optional, I told them. "It's beautiful," she murmured. "It's profitable," I said, "and it tastes like closure." Then Marcus handed me a folder. "The Adler Steakhouse Group," I said. "Sold today to the Hale Group." Claire's face drained. You bought them out, every location, every name. I raised my glass. To family traditions, may we never stop reinventing them. This is humiliating, my father snapped. I invited you to dinner, I said. You chose to come. You can't blame us for wanting stability, my mother said. You mean control, I answered. He leaned forward. Whatever you've built, it doesn't change who we are. It changes who I am, I said. Marcus set down another folder. Final confirmation, all transfers complete. Claire's husband went pale. You bought my company. I bought your reputation. Keep the suits. Claire whispered. You've become them cold calculating. Maybe I said. But at least I became. My father tried one last time. You think success gives you dignity. It doesn't. I already know, I said. I built something beautiful inside the emptiness. Prepare the check, I told Marcus. Dinner's on the house, I said. Repayment for the years you didn't believe in me. I stood. Enjoy dessert, it pairs well with humility. As I left, my father's voice followed. Let her go. For once, he was right. Upstairs, I watched them on the monitors, silent, defeated, framed by chandeliers. Marcus asked, Was it worth it? It was necessary, I said. That's not the same thing. Outside New York pulsed, indifferent. For me, it was an ending disguised as victory. Tokyo wants to meet next month, he said. Then we move forward. When he left, I looked at the screen again. My family surrounded by everything they once used to bury me. Revenge and closure look the same until the quiet tells you which one you chose. A week later, my mother texted dinner at home this week. Just family. I set the phone down beside my espresso. The bitterness tasted cleaner. Marcus asked, You going? No, I said. Dinner's already planned. That night I stood alone in Marcelino's. The same table, the same mirror. No ghosts this time, just space. I wrote their names in the reservation book for next week. If they call, I told Marco their table's ready. He asked softly, Will you join them, Ms. Bennett? Not tonight, I said, but I'll be watching. It's my restaurant after all. I poured a glass of the same wine I'd served them and raised it toward the empty table. To the girl they told to stay out of the kitchen. The room shimmered gold and still. Sometimes being banned isn't rejection, it's redirection. And sometimes the sweetest victory isn't served at someone else's table, but at the one you built yourself.